Okay, so now we're going into round 2 here. I managed to download the Gateway Restoration. This was actually in 2008. I was living at the complex at this time, but I also went back in 2009 and I did a Malcolm X chocolate milk party with the kids, right? Because I had been out there for almost 3 years with the kids while living on site, right? Okay, so I just want to show you here, YouTube has added their own Follow Me Home by Dire Straits, people. I got Dire Straits album. I was DJing on this day with my rock and roll. That's my record I'm playing. Okay, so you're gonna copyright this because this is under copyright. But anyway, and then here I mentioned 7 years ago, video has deteriorated over time. Why would that be? Well, I already told you why, right? It has to do with that codex. How they run the computer with their stats for nerds. See, it's the ABC1 right here. That's why it's so awful looking. Okay. So I'm just going through these right now, just to see what's going on, right? So if I go back. It brings me to the last page, right? Yeah, sure. You see what's going on here? Oh my God, I don't want to have to go all the way back 2,559 videos. There we go. Okay, so that one was copyrighted, so I'll probably get a copyright on this video. It's just a second video to what I'm working on. Because what I'm doing here is I'm going through, I've already uploaded 38 of these, or downloaded I should say. You see here, that one was copyrighted with Dire Straits. Because what they've done is they completely muted one video where I'm specifically DJing, scratching, doing something. And of course, you know, YouTube, they gotta knock a bitch down by the knees, right? So here's another copyright. What is the copyright? The owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. Okay, well that's good. So, but I don't think that's the one I'm looking for. There's one in here in particular that I'm looking for. But, you know, sometimes they change things, eh? This could be the one where I'm DJing, but there's Shimei, so I don't know. What does this one have to say? Copyright protected content found. The owner allows the content to be used on YouTube, so that's good. So that one's okay. I'm looking for the one where they specifically muted the whole freaking video. Unless, of course, they unmuted it. Right? There's this one. This is the one that's probably... Everybody was laughing, having a good time with this video. It was the... Yeah, blocked. Do you see this? It's blocked, people. It's blocked. Because this one here, out of all the videos, I kind of thought this was the best because everyone was laughing, having a good time. Right? But, you know, of course they don't want you to see that, right? So no one will be able to watch your video. Oh, so they blocked it completely. Huh, why? Why, people? Copyright. Copyright protected content found. Okay, so what is the copyright protected? That they blocked it where nobody could actually see it now. Because this was playing for actually quite a long time. See details. Let's see what the details are. Like, this is the fuckery, right, that goes on. Okay, so what is the details? And I disputed these things, got them undisputed, and then they turned around and they did whatever they did. Eagles, yeah. From the Eagles, already gone, remaster, blocked. So visually, visibility. They blocked the visibility completely. So you can't even see this video, as if they have a fucking right to block the whole damn video. Like, how does that make any sense, people? It doesn't. Okay? Obviously you can see it. You can hear it. Okay. So, why don't we exit out of that for a minute? I'm curious to know if I managed to get it downloaded in here. Oh, sorry, what number was that? Let me figure this out. What number was that? Like, it makes me so mad. YouTube makes me sick, man. Like, seriously, you don't even know. I stopped doing number 27. I stopped doing this shit in the community because of YouTube. Because, you know, I was required to promote it, to get out in the community, be in the public, be in the public's eye, put myself in the line of fire under the Federal Trademark Society Act and everything else, and this is the payment I got back out of it. Okay, so let's just not get mad here. Let's just see. Let's see if they gave me back my video. What number 27? I'd like to know. And then we're gonna go and see if it shows up on YouTube. It's right here. Number 27. Where am I? Gotta chase that freaking mouse. There it is. Okay. I got it back. You go, baby. Alright, so we got that back. Now let's see if they actually got it blocked, because there's been times where they've said that my video was blocked, and it wasn't that it was blocked, it was the fact that it was freaking shadow banned, because they were promoting somebody else and something else on YouTube, and they wanted to bury my video from coming up on their search engine. Okay, so here it says blocked, so what we're going to do is we're going to go take it to the page and see what happens. Okay, you can see what's going on here. Alright, let's see if it brings me up on YouTube. Let's go. Yeah, see? They muted it. That's what they did. So you can see it visually if you can find it. If you can find it, but you can't hear it. Right? Go figure. Alright.
You want the dumpling?
No, I don't want. I'm not hungry. I ate a bunch of chips.
I don't like dumplings.
Well, put a bowl over it. Okay, so, alright, so you see how they screw around with me. Now, I think I'm DJing in that one, but of course everybody was having a good time. Or it was just the fact that everybody was having a good time that they did that, people, because it's anything to make you feel like crap in the end, right? Because they want to control you and your economics, and they only allow some people to succeed as they're pushing a particular agenda, whatever, and a lot of it is satanic on YouTube, you know, with the symbolism and the sign language and that kind of stuff, right? And the stupid jokes or whatever it is that people do. And, yeah, they get lots and lots of traffic. But for someone like me, no. So that was number 27, right? And now I'm looking to see what else here, because anytime you bring on music, at least in the past, oh my God, it was a nightmare. Okay, so here's another one for 35 seconds. 35 seconds. And what's this one? Copyright protected content. The owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. All right. And then, now what happens is, you know, I have to carry on. I cross-reference these with paperwork that I have here. But now we're getting into the NuNationsUnity Community Celebration. And this would have been at Holly Park in 2007. And again, this was something that my son did. So hold on a minute. I want to go listen to that song that nobody can hear, right? And in a situation like that, that might be just inserted into one of those BitChute exclusives. Because honestly, people, I'm not doing anything wrong. I never did anything wrong. I spent over 40 fucking grand on this crap in terms of going out and doing things for the community, whether it was children or families or whatever, homeless people, right, individuals, just whatever, people. And more than 40,000. That was just what was written into the books. That wasn't my personal investment in terms of having to buy the equipment to take to the park to do even park events, the canopies, the flags, the freaking coolers, you know, musical instruments, arts and crafts, all that crap, people. It all costed money, okay? Not including park insurance and this and that and just whatever. Like I never put down, oh, I had to pay for gas, oh, I had to pay for space for storage so my kids can fucking rag on me. Oh, why you got multiples, Mom? Why are you buying keeping multiples? You know, you're just stuffing up the house with multiple of this and well, yeah, I used to go out and do this kind of stuff, people. Went into debt for it, and this is the thanks that I get. I get treated like a piece of fucking shit on stupid YouTube. Like seriously, I'm so sick of it. You know, now I'm going down memory lane where it's like, you know, getting kind of bitter with freaking glass on shards of glass. You know, forget about walking on eggshells. It's more like walking on shards of glass, because you know, they're the only people they're going to allow to be successful doing stuff like this is if those people or city council, you know, they'll allow city councils to have their do whatever they do and just, the one video that was the one that where everybody, it was just laughing and you could really, it got you know, you got little goosebumps just listening to the laughter and just everybody was so happy. YouTube put it on freaking lockdown. Well, anyway, I got it now. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they even gave it to me. Seriously. Right. So anyway, I was going to try and do this for a while, and when I get past this, I got a lot of videos to go through. I might just end up downloading them all and then matching them up with the things on my hard drive, because I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure, when they took down my channel, people, for those 3 months, just out of the blue, first they gave me a strike, then they striked me, and then they just deleted my whole fucking channel, left me hanging. That's when I went to BitChute. And then for 3 months, you know, nothing, right? I thought it was gone forever. And then they gave it back to me. Just turned on the computer and I got an email or something. I don't know how I figured it out. But turned out that they gave it back to me. Didn't say nothing. Just said they made a mistake and fucking passed it off like it was nothing because of that psychological warfare. Just taking that, digging out everything that's inside you and spreading it out like that, so all your guts are just hanging out. And that's kind of how it felt, right? That's the kind of psychological warfare shit that they do. Anyway, the binder is down there, I'm pretty sure. Backtracking, going and double checking to see what's going on in terms of what went missing, if anything went missing or whatever, right? And then I came across one. I did a video on this a couple of times when I was doing that, right? But of course I got busy, got distracted, and I haven't been able to follow up with my playlists or anything like that. And I'll see if I can pick up with it. I can still see for a while. And finish up, right? Because, you know, I'd like these, I don't know, to walk in my shoes. They wouldn't last. I swear, they wouldn't last for very long. So anyway, yeah, they took a video. They took a video, people. Two videos, really. They took 2 videos and somehow they did something. They did something with them, and I mean, obviously, I'll never really be sure until I actually go into my other external hard drives and go find those particular videos and play one here, play one there, and look for any changes where the change came in from YouTube but not from the original video, to catch them in the act of altering videos, because it had something to do with the British Columbia Parliament buildings in those days when they were debating, and I was watching it through TV, right? And with this stuff that's going on now around the subject that I'm basically going to be talking about when it comes to robots and altered human beings and nefarious agendas and how humans basically are under attack by, I don't want to call them leaders because I don't consider them to be leaders, right? But by individuals, I wanted to say things, but by individuals who purport themselves to be leaders, but they're really not, right? They're something else altogether. And if I can ever get it together where I can go get that video and compare it to those two different videos, I can almost guarantee you something's been altered with the video that they fucked with on their server. And what they did is they took down my channel and they went from video to video to video to video and did a sweep and did whatever they wanted to do. And once it was done, then they gave it back to me. And when they gave it back to me, the upload dates changed by 1 day, which is impossible. And that was the only 2 videos or 1 video. Like, they were like back-to-back videos, right? Because in those days, I think you could only go like 15 minutes, 30 minutes or something like that. Like that, you know, now you can do it for hours. In those days, it wasn't like that. But yeah, no, they definitely did something because their post date was the wrong post date compared to what I have printed out from years ago. And that is completely impossible. Okay, that's being done through source code. Okay. Somebody changed it specifically on purpose for a specific reason. And I have a sneaky feeling I kind of know what the reason is. In terms of they changed the narrative of the debate. Yeah. You know how they can do that, right? They can change things on video, right? They can remove people from videos. They can remove words and bring in other words, and then they re-uploaded it, but they put down the wrong post date on it because it's not matching up with what I have in my paperwork. But I have somewhere in this house the original videos, so we'll see. Okay, so I don't know, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm still out of here. This is the video that they blocked and made it where nobody can quote-unquote see it. Most definitely hear it. Okay. So for 1 minute and 34 seconds was the culprit song by the band Eagle, to which I have multiple records from the Eagles. Okay. I grew up with the Eagles. That and hip-hop and funk and, you know, NWA and, right, Styx and just the whole 9 yards. Okay, so now I'm going to play the rest of this. I'm going to put it on chapter 2. Well, this isn't even a chapter. Page 2 of my first chapter of my documentary as I'm answering a question, okay? Because I said it's going to take a little while anyway. But this is just a reminder of the fuckery good people go through. Because if YouTube wants to come in there and snag up on this half of the video and remove the video because of whatever, or block it, or make it where people can't see it just so they can slap me around, you know, kick me down to my knees and remind me that I'm their bitch and I'm not supposed to go against the grain, even though I'm promoting a playground restoration in a courtyard of a 133 suite. Oh, it was more than 133 suites, but it was quite a few suites of families that came from all over the world as true 100% refugees, right into the heart of Surrey, into the poorest community in terms of complex of all of Surrey. I'm trying to make their life better, and this is how I get treated, people. I get blocked. Now you have to keep in mind, this video was playing for a long time, and then all of a sudden, they blocked it. But I'm kind of thinking, in part, they use the song as the excuse just to demoralize me, to make me feel terrible, so that I wouldn't continue doing the things that I've been doing, so that I would give up trying, so that they could embarrass me. Who knows? Anything in a negative way, just to squash me, okay? Because what you're going to see now is me at the DJ equipment, because I'm not playing that part with the song where everybody was laughing and having a really good time, and it made you feel good to watch the video just because of the people doing what the people were doing. It wasn't the song, it was what they were laughing. And okay, so let's carry on. Okay, I'm DJing. You have to remember, this is my money I spent, right, to promote this, right? I paid for the food. It was my equipment that I paid for, just so that I even had the ability to go out there and do these things when I wanted to. I did all the paperwork. I had a legitimate nonprofit. I was operating under 2 federal fucking trademark names that gave me the right to do this shit. I was expected to do it. Okay? And then along comes YouTube, smacks the little bitch around. And no. You can't stand proud. You can't be proud. You can't accomplish. You can't. And this is a perfect example how YouTube's been fucking with me since the beginning of time. I mean, not only do they make my videos look like crap, because it didn't look like that before, but it does now. In terms of the lines going through them, you know, it's blurry. Well, it's blurry for me either or, but I got glasses on, so it's deteriorated over time because of their assigned codecs. See everybody laughing. There I am. Where am I? There I am. Right? Did I ask to have the camera put on me? No. But somebody did. Then I caught it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking a little cocky. Maybe too big for my britches. YouTube's got to slap me down. Right? Punch me in the gut. Pull out my fucking hair like a bitch. Make it so that nobody can see what I look like. Being confident. Right? Trying to promote a good thing in the community for children. Right? Whether local children in the community or children that came off a freaking airplane from some desert sitting under the sun drinking sour milk, waiting to be rescued when there is no rescue to be found because there's 100,000 of them. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, and they ended up in this complex. And I moved in thinking I would get help because it was a complex with lots of people living there, and it turned out they're the ones that needed the help. So I stepped up to the plate, and I did what was expected of me. And this is what YouTube did. They turned around and took the fucking video down because they don't like it when little white women like me with a big mouth that's got something to say stand up for themselves. Whether it's in a good way or in a bad way, when it relates to that question. See? See? I'm scratching my turntable. Those are my turntables, my records. My canopies, my table, my flags. Alright? And this is how YouTube thanks me for being non-satanic. Because that's pretty much what it freaking boils down to with this stupid website. Yeah, they don't want to hear that. People happy. There's the Canadian flag. Alright, just slap the bitch around a little more, right? Right?
Painting party. Hooty-hoo.
It was a painting party. Hooty-hoo. And what did YouTube do in their stupid staff? Their robotic staff. They came in and they squashed it. The best video out of all those fucking videos, they turned around and they squashed it. Because it's psychological warfare for them. That's not what your governments want, people. They don't want the people coming together and being productive. They want them to be little fucking drones and zombies, you know, just following the herd until you fall off the freaking cliff, except for the ones pushing you off. YouTube is the one that pushes you off the cliff. They're not falling with you. They're pushing you off the cliff. So, Debs for life, before you get too fucking comfortable with being a YouTube content creator, thinking you're going to be successful, because if you play by the rules, yeah, at what expense? Seriously, at what expense? Because the bigger you get, the more corrupt those individuals that do this fucking shit on YouTube time after time after time for views with their clickbait and their running of the mouth. The same shit year after year after year, hoping that they win the fucking roulette wheel in terms of their predictions. Oh, I predict this, and then they wait for it to fucking happen because, you know, it's the subject, like war. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, there's another one that broke out over there. There's another one you know, we're in food crisis over here, shortages over there. Well, yeah, it's a sign of the freaking time, so it's not like you're predicting anything, but none of them come fucking with any solutions. No, the ones that come with solutions like I did, this is how we're treated. So I suppose if you do it for entertainment purposes for yourself and don't expect much out of it, you won't be disappointed. And whatever you do, don't allow fucking YouTube and their stupid staff to treat you like bitches. Yeah. Stand up for yourself, for what it's worth. There's the American flag. Okay, so, you know, and this is in line of, like, this whole subject of these things that crawl around in the fucking dark and expect to be treated like human when they get caught, right? When in fact they're not. There's something wrong with them. Okay? Now, this video played for the longest time. I remember back in the day, you know, I had to dispute whatever, got released, whatever. I mean, sometimes I'd copy and paste it, whatever, I'd gripe. Okay. So, they took this down because it played for the longest time. I was so happy, right? Because it's a really nice, happy video. But then, of course, you know, we know what happened to Andre. And if you notice, they put this up here, already gone. Well, they've got it listed. You see, that's the thing. They've got it listed in the video, right? But they've muted it. I'm assuming that if you had the link, it will come up, but you just won't hear it. Because, you know, it's mindfuckery, people. That's what it is, okay? And then I made a comment 8 years ago, I guess when they blocked it. Now, this has probably been blocked for a long time because this post is 8 years ago. And I'm going to read this. This is the perfect example of how people try to control others and the political state of our economy. Now, this is 8 years ago, people, okay? And I'm a nobody, right? Digging into my own pocket, going into debt, living in a freaking complex I don't even want to be in, just so that I can toe that line, right? And be a part of the solution. Okay, so when it relates to promoting social development outside of a political agenda that is oftentimes controlled by government unions. And that's exactly what's going on today as I speak. Only it's gotten worse. Worse and worse and worse. Just like I say, Uncle John, what happened to him with the medical kidnapping of him in 2015 was just the tip of the iceberg in comparison to what's going on today, okay? Well, you can almost say the same thing for me. So people in power don't want others to display good leadership unless it aligns with their agendas. Like I said, if you are a criminal of mine, you will do well in the province of British Columbia, Canada. Because that's what the government is about, of criminal of mine. Otherwise, there would be justice for my family, regardless of who that individual is. And there isn't. In the meantime, that, in many instances, wouldn't include you anyway. So, if they can't silence you one way, as in this case, blocking out the sound. So this video was uploaded in 2009, and by 2015 they finally decided to block the sound because they wanted to fuck with my head because I was fighting for Uncle John. And I'll show you this in a minute. They will find another to smear your name into some scandalous drama as they egg their way into destroying you before they would support feeding students, yada, yada, yada. Isn't that what predators do? Chase, stalk after the weak, meek, young, and old, where us, oh, wrong spelling, should be where us, oh, where, no, I got that right, wear us down until we become easy prey. And what has happened to my family since Uncle John was medically kidnapped, not to mention what happened to Sierra and what happened to Andre before Uncle John was medically kidnapped. Because if you see here, when Uncle John got medically kidnapped, I came in, backtracked onto my all older videos because I was being gang stalked hard on YouTube, to which YouTube did nothing about it. If anything, they participated in it, people. One way or another, somehow, just like they're still stalking me today, they were stalking me back then. Okay, there was just too much funky shit that was going on to convince me that I was under some PSYOP program where they were doing their psychological assessment with their 25 thumbs down as I was fighting for Uncle John. And you have to remember, I had just gotten over for 15 months fighting for Andre to get him back from an illegal apprehension. Okay? Okay? So, here, Home Depot and their staff came to the courtyard at Gateway Place apartment, to which I was living at that time, located in Surrey, BC, Canada, and provided their volunteer services to help restore the playground equipment. Home Depot also provided all the paint and painting equipment, several planter boxes, and dirt so that residents could enjoy the flowers that was also donated by Home Depot. The founder of New Foundation for Community Partnerships, who is also known as Mama Lynn, because that's what everybody called me in those days, provided the entertainment via DJ services and the food. The whole day was great. And then, but that was in 2009. Again, go back to that bottom post where government doesn't like community leadership. It doesn't matter if it's Martin Luther King. It doesn't matter if it's Malcolm X. It doesn't matter if it was Kennedy, right, that president in the United States of America. And then there's a few other of them sprinkled in there. Outside of that, you know, they want the Trudeaus that like to dress up like in pink and put black face on and tell you that you are a criminal because you don't want to follow his dictatorship and therefore you're going to be punished and you just won't be allowed on the bus. That's what the government fucking supports. Okay? The targeting of individuals, the targeting of families, the targeting of corporations that don't want to go with the old okie dokie, the targeting of churches, okay? And what's been going on in the last few years? A whole lot of freaking targeting. Well, that targeting started with me. And they got away with it, people, because I was one person standing up against a beast. Okay? But I didn't know it was a beast at the time. I believed in my community. I thought the government wanted a healthy community. But I learned that there is no such thing as a healthy community because the government encourages the predatory behavior of their union employees. They're the ones with all the resources. They're the ones with the major workforce. They're the ones that got the government with the legislation, with the crooked fucking justice system, with the judges and the lawyers, with the 2 billion slush funds to make sure that business runs smooth as possible so they can continue with their trafficking of human body parts. Don't tell me it's not true. Sitting in my freaking seat, walking in my shoes, with the history that I have. So, we know Uncle John got medically kidnapped. I'm going to upload this, I think, because this is going to be another fucking long one. We know Uncle John got medically kidnapped in February of 2015. We know that soon after that, the gang stalking stepped up real hardcore. Okay? Like, you don't even know. It was enough to break the camel's back, okay? But I stuck it out because if I could stick out doing everything that I had done with the foundation, I could definitely fight hard for my family. Whether it was Andre, Sierra, and then it went to Uncle John, okay? So I had to backtrack and let people know what the hell was going on in case they stumbled upon this video that was buried in all my other videos as YouTube shadow bans my videos, as YouTube shadow bans my channel. And this is what I wrote. The targeting of my family initially began in January of 2003. And that's for sure. That's when Gordon Campbell shook Bill Clinton's hands. And when he got elected in 2001, and Bill Clinton came to Canada with that welfare, that American welfare reform, that Bush, I think it was Bush who first started it, and then Clinton brought it, right? He tweaked it, and then he brought it over here, and then the province of British Columbia, Canada, and that parliament building decided to play American politics, implemented whatever that was, and that gave them the green light to cut me off of welfare in December in 2003. Well, it was January. Yeah, they told me in December, this is the last check you get. January 1st, you get nothing. So by January of 2003, I did not get a welfare check. I had 5 dependent kids, all under the age of 18. And Uncle John was completely blind, you know, in terms of legally blind, and was dependent on me. And I was left holding the bag. But I had just gotten credit cards, so I said, gee, John, I don't think we can stay here. I can't afford it. So we made the decision to move, and that's when I started racking up my credit cards. But I had already founded the nonprofit in 2000, people, and made it official in 2001 with the Society Act. I got the trademark in 2000, I think. And then I founded the nonprofit in 2001 because it required a little more paperwork. Either or. That's when the targeting of my family, because what they did is they used legislation that wasn't even in effect yet. It wouldn't have been in effect for 9 months. So technically, legally, they couldn't have cut me off of welfare for 9 months until that legislation did come into effect. However, based on the number of kids that I had in my situation, I didn't even fall under that legislation. The worst that they could have done was deduct $100 from my $100 a month from my welfare check on that American legislation, because I didn't go pick tomatoes in a hothouse, people, and leave my kids and with John at home all day long for 10 hours a day. So they cut me off of welfare because I couldn't do that. It's not that I didn't want to do it, I couldn't do it, right? But it took me until I started writing Uncle John's lawsuit. I came across that legislation, read everything about it, and that's when I learned that what they did was illegal, and it wasn't even applicable to me, right? And it was so illegal that the Social Services Department in those days ended up taking the government to court, fought in court with them to have it rescinded because it went against the Charter of Human Rights. So that's how illegal it was. So once I filed Uncle John's lawsuit, I wrote it in there, not so much as I did with Shimei's lawsuit, and the government just seems to think that they can ignore it, because when they kicked me out on the snow with Uncle John and the 5 kids, I guess they expected me to leave everybody in the fucking snow and go to court, not knowing what I was doing other than fight for my rights. That is how corrupt the government has been, at least to my knowledge, since 2003.
Okay, you already used the bathroom, okay?
Okay? Okay? And it's only gotten worse. And a lot of people know that. And I'm just here to confirm it. Okay? So under the BC Liberal government, Gordon Campbell, consequently, the more I talk about homelessness, because I was fighting for the homeless people, and or union corruption, because I was calling out the union, in general, the worse things get, with Uncle John being the latest example. Okay? They weren't satisfied with kicking out me in 2003. They had to come back and destroy Sierra's life and then go after Andre and basically destroy his life. And when everything calmed back down a little bit, when we got Andre back, Sierra was like lost cause by that time, so I'm sure they were happy with that. But no, they had to go after Uncle John because, you know, they like to tear out, they like to tear apart the family unit, and that's how they do it. Pick one off here, pick one off there, pick one, because they slither in the dark like slugs, right? That's the only way they can fucking travel and do things. So, you know, but I was fighting for the homelessness through the foundation under the trademark. Okay, so I have lots of videos with me out in my little community talking to homeless people and that kind of thing, right? Tried to plant a community garden. I was successful for 1 year, but of course it was shut down because, you know, that's too good of a thing. That's not what the cops want, right? And, yeah. And then, you know, because I was being stalked after they took John, it got real bad. And then I started just posting. Right? You can see I posted. This video is working when I did this, people. This was in 2015 when they took John. Okay? You can see that's all John related. So this video was up until 2015, uninterrupted. But YouTube staff had to fuck with my head and block it because they didn't want people to see me standing there feeling confident about doing something positive. Because that's the only way they know how to play, is dirty pool, right? Note, in light of the medical kidnapping of Uncle John, one of the original founding members to New Foundation for Community Partnerships, and since going into the hospital on January 13th of 2015, and then disappearing by February 20th, well, it was actually the 23rd, people, 2015, this YouTube channel has been spammed by his extended family. But it was more than just the extended family. And don't forget, Eleanor Gilding works for the province of British Columbia, Canada, as a senior union employee who manages the provincial immunization program of all the healthcare workers right across this province. That's her job title. Okay. Extended family. Include the extended fucking union family. All the ones that took the fucking bribe so that they could steal John's money, including the bank of CIBC. CIBC Bank. From Victoria, BC, in an effort to hide the truth of what they have done to him and his immediate family of 23 years since that day. So with that said, ratings for videos will be disabled from September 3rd of 2015. Because you have to remember, in those days, it was all about psychological warfare, right? Okay? So, you know, you're just sitting up there, Deb's life, okay? You know, you're doing your little videos, something comes along, you say something, you do something that somebody on YouTube, some government agency, somebody with a little bit of oolah and a little bit of clout want to put a fucking target on your back. You know, in those days, it was like, okay, you want to talk about Uncle John, you don't want to drop the ball, you don't want to stay quiet about it, you don't know how to shut up, bitch. Well, we're just going to come in and start doing this 25 fucking times in a day. You get up in the morning, there's 25 thumbs down. Oh, what the hell? You get 2 likes, and if you get 2 likes, you might get 1 with 25 fucking thumbs down. Where the hell do you think those 25 fucking thumbs came down from? Because it was a setup. It was through that psychological warfare. That's what it was. And we know it happened because they did it with Facebook, all right? Facebook got caught with it, people. YouTube never fucking got caught with it, but I am living proof that they fucking did it because I have the printouts to prove it. So I just removed the thumbs down in terms of the visualization of it. You shouldn't be able to see them here. No, you can't see them here. I don't know. We're talking like Uncle John's time, right? I don't think there's 25 thumbs down on this particular video, but I wasn't taking no chances. No. Because they were out for blood, like big time. Stab me here, stab me. It was amazing I was still getting up and walking around. Okay, that's how injured I was through the whole process. But if you noticed, as soon as the government started to take over fucking YouTube with their, oh, well, we got this order, and we're the province of this, and we're the fucking, governor of that, and this is the orders, and, and blah, and right, and policies, and people coming down and doing their thumbs down, and these were real thumbs down because people disagreed with the orders, people disagreed with the fake fucking policies, and just give up your life and bend over and be a bitch. They didn't want that, right? So they came in, they were doing, they were thumbing them down, and you know what? Those pussies in the parliament buildings, those pussies people, they freaking tweaked YouTube, went crying, oh, we pay you this, we pay, make it so that nobody can see how many thumbs down that we got, because we don't want people to base what we have to say on first impressions with the thumbs fucking down. Oh, yeah, okay, so it's good for me, but not good for the fucking gander, right? You do that shit to me, and now that it's come back to you, and people are thumbing you down. I used to watch the province of British Columbia, Canada, through all that shit, right? You used to be able to comment, you used to be able to see the thumbs down. I'd go in there and they'd have like 400 thumbs down, 25 likes, and I'm like, you go public, right? People, writing their little shit in there. You know what that coward ass government that I got in this province, the NDP, New Democrat Party, with fucking David Eby now as the premier. Never mind John Horgan when he was the premier. They went crying to YouTube, paid off YouTube, and made it so that you can't see thumbs down no more. And then they took it right across the board to make it look like they were saving everybody's ass. Their feelings. Oh, we don't want people to see how many thumbs down because it does too much psychological damage to our content creators. Oh, fuck that shit. Bunch of lies, people. I'm telling you, it's nothing but fucking lies. Been there, done that. No, they did that because they didn't want you to see how many thumbs down were coming in from the general public against our corrupt governments that were getting up on their stupid podiums selling the public a bunch of old okie dokie hogwash that was designed to injure them, to destroy their families, to set them up for failure, or to create criminals out of them if they want to survive. Think of that organized religion that's flourishing while everybody else around them is dying. And then they bring in more through immigration to hide the fucking fact of what's really going on right under the noses. And they hide the thumbs down so that when people come, oh, I don't know how many people don't. It could be 1,000 people who don't like it, but you wouldn't know. So you're more apt to listen to the fucking bullshit that comes out of their robotic mouths. Robotic mouths. Because they're not all of human DNA. Yeah. And they have the audacity to block my video. Because I stood there scratching a fucking record and they didn't want people to see me looking good, feeling good, being happy, being productive. It had nothing to do with the song, people, because the song is fucking listed there. It played from 2009 right up into 2015, and then all of a sudden, blip, you can't see, hear nothing now. Why? Because I put down what's going on in the real world with the medical kidnapping of our elderly for their houses, for their bank accounts, for their safety deposit boxes, for whatever asset, their superannuation life insurance policies, for their pension plans, whatever assets these old people have, many of them, not all of them, because if everyone went missing, then it would be a big upcry. But if they take 10%, 15%, maybe they up the ante now. They're gone 30%. In Uncle John's day, it was 10%. That's why nobody said nothing about it. Now it's a good 30%. More people are talking about it. But it needs to be more than 30% before the fucking people stand up and uprise against it, because they'll just hope it's not them. And being that the government's so full of fucking trickery, you just go visit their website, you'll listen to it, and you won't realize how many people are actually are actually against it, because YouTube, in partnership with corrupt governments, has hidden that information, because they already know through their psychological warfare on people like me in the past how damaging it can be. Not only to the personal psyche of the individual that has to suffer through it, but just with how other people respond to it. Oh, 25 thumbs down, only 1 thumb up, like, well, there must be something wrong with that person. I'm moving on someplace else. Yeah, that's exactly what they want you to do. So they can hook you in and dumb you down some more. Mold you into what they want to mold you into. And if you don't conform, they will continue to abuse you until you fucking drop off the planet of the earth. Because it doesn't just start and stop on YouTube. YouTube is just an extension of it. Unless, of course, you want to sell your soul. Yeah. And then consider that to be an income. So that you can live a good life while you're alive. And then once you're dead, nothing matters, because poof, you're gone, and who cares, right? Yeah, okay. So how does that all relate to this chapter that I'm working on, in terms of answering the question when it comes to things that lurk around us that aren't necessarily of sane mind, when it comes to morality and decency, right? And how do you expose them? Well, the first place is you expose them with shenanigans like this. That's just another example of what you're dealing with on a grander scale, right? Because it goes from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off and then maybe clear my mind and figure out how I'm going to proceed with this. But this kind of went on for a little while, and you know, those 3-hour videos can get awfully long, and so maybe I'll just cut this off right now and then upload this one, and then just think about it for a couple of days, because there's some things that I want to do. Like I'm kind of distracting away from the question, in terms of, like, you know, like, I don't even know what the question was anymore. I'll have to read the question over again. You know, like, seriously, I ever since I founded the nonprofit, I've been fighting for my daughter was a drug addict, people, when I was founding the nonprofit, as if I didn't want to help my community. My daughter was a part of that community. If my daughter would not have been a drug addict, I don't think I would have been that involved with the homeless, first of all, right? Because with her addiction, and just have ended up being kicked out because of whatever with Andre and stupid social workers that made her relapse on purpose, so that because they knew the statistics would be to keep her out there, which feeds into that underground economy. And she was basically pimped by my government, the province of British Columbia, Canada, for 8 years, until she was lured to her death, which again fuels the underground economy. Like, you know, how can you consider yourself to be a true 100% legitimate human being when you facilitate those kind of activities just so that you can say that you're a successful politician or a successful union worker? Because the majority of this stuff is being done by people who have access to resources like hospitals, you know, money, the workforce, the legislation, right? Organized religion in partnership with government through backroom deals, employees like an Eleanor Gilding in key positions that don't rock the boat. Who may or may not have already been replaced by themselves, in terms of may have been replaced in the physical sense with something else to represent, look like, and act like the original, but in fact is probably not, because you'd have to be a pretty cold-hearted person to do some of the things that is going on in our society, right? It's okay for me to get 25 thumbs down and have everybody look at that and slap me around and call me this and call me that. But it's not okay for the government to receive that same kind of fucking treatment when they're trying to come into other people's lives and basically put them on lockdown and control them for the rest of their lives, as if we weren't born on this planet to be free. I'm just saying. What right does any individual from any other fucking country have tell me how I'm going to live my life? Never mind, make my politicians tell me how I'm going to live my life. Unless, of course, you want to be stupid and not question it. Be naive, be gullible, be passive, not even aggressive, just be passive, be a wuss, be a puss. Right? You know, be an ostrich with your head in the sand. I don't know. I just know that's not me. Right? And with that comes consequences, because we're on a whole different path than when I first started on this path. And YouTube has played right into it in partnership with a corrupt government that is still, to this day, trying to bury Uncle John like a dirty secret. Because wherever I go, he comes with me. Just remember that. I've been saying it for a long time. So if I'm going to talk about bodysuits and all this other morbid shit, well, Uncle John's right there in the mix with us.